back to Eye in the Sky Drones. And unless you've been living under a rock and you follow drone news, you know that this guy right here has been replaced. That's right, folks. I'm talking about the Mavic 3 Pro. Now, we've had a few versions of the Mavic 3, but the original Mavic 3 with the telephoto lens has now been discontinued. They've replaced it with the Mavic 3 Pro. And if you look at the camera on here, it has the telephoto lens up top, your standard 4/3 camera down bottom. That's been replaced with the Mavic 3 Pro, now having 3 cameras on it. So my question to you out there, if you bought the original Mavic 3, or even the Mavic 3 Cine, would you be upgrading to the Mavic 3 Pro? Is it even worth the upgrade? Let's take a look at the original Mavic 3 and some of the specs for the Mavic 3 Pro and see if it's worth spending that money again, or will you be fine sticking on to the old Mavic 3? Let's take a look at some of the specs. Mavic 3 Pro, Mavic 3, which looks better? When we look at the Mavic 3, that 4/3 camera, it boasts some good, it produces some good images, some good video. And I think they're using the same 4/3 camera for the main camera on the Mavic 3 Pro. There have been talks about the sensor being upgraded, but you're still going to get that same image. What comes along is the telephoto lens. In my opinion, the telephoto lens on the regular Mavic 3 is pretty good. You can get some good shots, some good quality shots. But with that 3 times bump on the new Mavic 3 Pro, a lot of people are going to flock to that, or that's what they've been looking for in the camera. What it all boils down to, you already spent, if you got just the regular Mavic 3 and not the Cine version, you already spent about $2,100 just for the standard package. Now, the new Mavic 3 Pro, they didn't bump up the price, which is a good thing. A lot of people feel slighted because it's the same price as their Mavic 3, but it's just like any refresh cycle of technology. They could have kept the Mavic 3 and then made the Mavic 3 Pro higher, but I'm really glad they didn't do that. I guess the big question here would be for your average user, your average everyday hobbyist who has a Mavic 3. Will it be worth the upgrade to the Mavic 3 Pro? If you're just flying for fun, catching pictures and videos, stills and video, I think the original Mavic 3 will more than suit your needs. Just upgrading for that little 3 times bump on one of the 3 cameras, it may not be worth the money to spend the money all over again. But if you haven't had a Mavic 3 yet, jumping straight to the Pro would be a good idea since it costs the same price as a regular Mavic 3. I think that would be in the best interest of those who may be upgrading from a Mavic Air 2S or a DJI Mini 3 Pro. Upgrading to the Mavic 3 Pro would be a good idea. For those of us who have already the standard Mavic 3 with an RC already, and we do want to get the Pro, they're not selling the drone-only version yet. They should be selling it soon, but not quite yet. But that's always an option. If you already have the Mavic 3 and you did want to upgrade, you can keep your RC or your RC Pro that you already have and just get the drone-only version. I think they said it's going to cost around $1,700 US, something around that mark. But again, if you already have the Mavic 3, you have more than a capable drone. After updates and updates, this thing really gets the job done. So those Mavic 3 owners, will you be upgrading to the Mavic 3 Pro? The tech geek in me is itching to upgrade, but I think I'm going to sit this one out. Not unless something happens to this one, which I pray it doesn't, but I think this will suffice my needs for now. Well, if you like what you saw on the channel, hit the like and subscribe button. Thanks for signing in. Always be safe and have fun flying.